You never know which sea creatures are truly dangerous until the dangerous ones fight one another. You also don't give the peaceful creatures a fighting chance until you see what they do when their backs are against the wall. The outcomes may sometimes shock and amaze you. We have heard stories of dolphins not being afraid of sharks, but there are much more such stories worth mentioning. These are the times sea animals messed with the wrong opponent. Before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Orca versus blue whale. Blue whales are docile creatures, but what happens if an orca keeps bumping into a blue whale? We have seen footage of a blue whale about to swallow an orca captured by a fisherman. He was taking photos of the encounter and caught the exact moment the blue whale attempted to eat an orca. More information is not available on the encounter, but it would have been impossible for the whale to swallow the orca. Who knows? Maybe the orca got a fright and left. Night stalker versus girded eel. These two animals are from the eel family. A video shows how a night stalker eel and girded eel got into a fight. In the video, the night stalker latches onto the girded eel and a twisted fight for food and life ensues. Both these eels are species of moray eels, of which there are over 200 species. These eels like to eat crustaceans and similar creatures, but they have no qualms against eating each other. In the video in question, the girded eel fights for its life when a night stalker decides it feels like some striped eel for supper. The night stalker gets a firm hold onto its prey, nearly ripping it in half. The battle is a foregone conclusion due to the size of the night stalker and because once the night stalker latched onto the girded eel was already at a disadvantage. The video sees the night stalker eventually swim off with its takeout. Bon appetit. A white-tipped reef shark versus a moray eel. In a fight between an aggressive white-tipped reef shark and a moray eel, who do you think would come out on top? A diver caught footage of a moray eel who had grabbed a white-tipped reef shark by its tail and was not letting it go. It was trying to pull the struggling shark into its underwater grotto. For a minute or so, the moray eel gets into its hideout, and when it reappears, only the shark's tail is sticking out of its mouth. The shark is already halfway devoured. Just when you think the moray has won, the shark actually managed to extract itself from the inside of the moray eel, and the fight resumes. By this time, one might think the moray eel should give up and go look for a tasty crustacean for supper. Well, eventually sanity prevails and the moray lets the shark go, who swims off a bit crooked but still alive. Elephant seal against another elephant seal. These massive creatures descend on California beaches during breeding season. Each male has his own harem of females, which he is obviously quite protective over. The male seals will vocalize regularly to let other seals know who is the boss. They would rather not fight, but when the other male does not back down, there is no choice. These creatures weigh almost 2 tons, which is the weight of about 20 human beings. When two of these creatures clash their small teeth, they are not much of a weapon. But when such large animals square off, they start by knocking their heads together. This usually happens when bachelor bulls try to take over the harem of other bulls. By the time they are ready to reproduce, they are about 10 years old. It is also critical for the challenger because only 1 in 10 males ever succeed in fathering pups. The fights that ensue usually draw blood. The kicker is that whoever the winning male is, he still cannot get sex easily from his females. He has to work at it. An octopus and stonefish. Stonefish are ambush prey. Their camouflage is excellent and their jaws powerful. These fish are also some of the most poisonous fish out there, so they are truly dangerous. They basically think they can get away with anything, much like some predatory politicians. They're not that big, but tend to win fights against larger animals. Off the Egyptian coast, a diver managed to capture video footage of a brave or stupid octopus attempting to catch a stonefish, which can be half a meter long. But it turns out that the octopus knows what he's doing. He chases down the stonefish and devours it. I wonder if a stonefish is one of the octopus's preferred meals. It sounds very unappetizing. An octopus and a pufferfish. The pufferfish contains chemicals that are disgusting to the palate of sea creatures. But as if that weren't enough, the chemical poison is about 1,200 times more potent than cyanide with no known antidote. Yes, you heard that right. A single pufferfish can kill 30 humans on a single spree. Footage shows an octopus trying to devour a pufferfish. The pufferfish is also covered in spikes, which makes the attempt at eating it seem even more futile. Octopi are known to be one of the most intelligent creatures in the ocean, but this one was clearly the village idiot or had decided it had enough of life. After various attempts at eating the spiked poison ball, it gave up. The pufferfish swam away and the octopus will probably never know how lucky it was to get out of this situation alive. What happens when a sea serpent and a moray eel eel slug it out. These two animals are the same size and look similar to each other. Sea serpents tend to eat fish and other small sea creatures. The venom of a sea serpent is 10 times more poisonous than that of a rattlesnake. Video footage shows how a sea serpent finds and paralyzes a moray eel with its venom. It then proceeds to devour the eel whole. When the sea serpent is done with its meal, it looks like a fat version of itself. The way the sea serpent devours the moray eel is reminiscent of an anaconda or python devouring its prey. Harbor seal versus a giant Pacific octopus. This was footage captured from above water at Ogden Point, Canada. It shows a harbor seal with a huge octopus wrapped around it. The pair are almost the same size. At one stage, both disappear underwater, and nobody knows who will be triumphant. But when they resurface, the seal has the octopus in its mouth. The harbor seal killed and ate the octopus, which can weigh hundreds of pounds. Orcas versus a tiger shark. Tiger sharks are the second most deadly threat to humans after great white sharks. They can therefore be incredibly aggressive. In this footage captured by divers, 3 orcas savagely attack a tiger shark. The trio of orcas force the tiger shark to the surface, flip it onto its back, and savagely begin to devour the shark alive. It seems like nobody tells an orca what to do. Fortunately, orcas have never been recorded to attack humans. What happens when a massive polar bear engages a walrus? An adult male polar bear can weigh up to 680 kilograms, the same weight as about 11 humans. They can be as long as 1.7 meters, so these animals are not to be trifled with. A polar bear was seen taking on a large herd of walrus. Big mistake, because a walrus can weigh as much as 2 tons, almost 3 times as heavy as a polar bear. And in a herd, they are even more dangerous to catch. The walrus has 2 massive front tusks as well, which look like 2 ivory swords. These tusks can be just over a meter long. The walrus herd forms a wall to protect their young, and those less capable of defending themselves, like the elderly. The polar bear tries its best to grab outlying walrus, and they continuously shake it off and slash at it with their tusks. Eventually, the bear has to beat a retreat. You might think this is a nice win for the walrus, but the polar bears are fast becoming one of the most endangered species on the planet as their natural habitat melts away due to climate change. One day soon, there may be no more of these majestic creatures left. A seal and a shark. This footage was taken in Northern California of a battle between a seal and a shark. Obviously, you know the shark will win, with its rows of sharp teeth and aggressive feeding attitude. You would be wrong. California sea lions take down certain sharks with no problem at all. We're not sure how this specific encounter turned out, but seals have sharp teeth and can deal with a shark. Sharking it out. A hammerhead shark versus a tiger shark. An ocean battle between sharks must be the ultimate. Footage was captured of a tiger shark attacking a hammerhead caught on deep-sea fisherman's line. The tiger shark sees its opponent and attacks a hammerhead over and over. A tiger shark will basically eat anything that moves. In this fight, the hammerhead comes loose from the fisherman's line and attempts to swim away, but it has already lost too much strength and becomes shark food. A lobster versus a crab. Yes, you heard that right. Lobsters are larger than crabs and have bigger claws. Crabs are also omnivores, so a fight between a crab and a lobster will involve them both fighting for survival and a possible opportunistic meal, as they both actually eat smaller animals. In footage taken of a lobster and a crab fighting, we do not see the end of the fight, but who do you think will win? The crab is protected by a harder exoskeleton, while the lobster has an exposed body but larger claws. Who do you think will be the prey in such an encounter? So, our ocean-going friends are ever so often quite opportunistic. Here, we have some examples of who is food and who is the eater of the food. Sometimes nature can surprise us and give us some really cool and unexpected video footage. We know you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check back next time to be amazed by our next video.